In this video, we'll look at how one can mine the robots.txt file on a website and find interesting things such as hidden directories as well as security vulnerabilities. Now, before we begin, I hope everybody has liked the SecurityTube website which has been put up, and I would definitely encourage people to come forward and give me feedback about how this site can be made better. And also it would be great if you can help me spread the word about the website. So now let's begin with the actual tutorial. So what is robots.txt? Very simply put, it is actually a plain text file which is human readable and is put in the root directory of your website. So for example, if the website is cnn.com, then this file would be located at cnn.com/robots.txt. So basically this is meant to serve as a way to instruct automated bots, generally search engines such as Google bots and Yahoo Slurp, to actually know what they should or should not mine. And it is actually written in a protocol called robots exclusion protocol. So basically what happens is all of these search engines just come to your website, find out whichever pages are being linked from the main page and then nested even deeper, and then mine and put it online. So at times website owners and administrators would desire that certain directories may not be included in the indexes of these search engines so that it is not made searchable by people. So very recently this whole Google hacking thing started, in which people started using Google to find out hidden pages and directories on various websites. So this is a sample robots.txt file, and pretty much in the beginning what we have is a user agent directive which actually is used to instruct specific user agents. Now one option is to also use a star or a wildcard, which means applies to all user agents. In this case the rules only apply to Googlebot. So basically the user agent for which the rule is Googlebot, and it is disallowed to mine anything in the images directory, anything in the archive directory, and anything in the XYZ directory. Now this rule actually continues. The block ends when another user agent directive actually starts, in which case this directive applies to any automated mining bot, and it requests those bots to disallow or not to mine the images directory. So very simply put, this is an exclusion based protocol in general, where the site administrator actually mentions various directory names which should be excluded from mining. Now the interesting part is that robots.txt should not be used to hide important directories and should never be thought of as some sort of a security cover for the website. And the reason for that is very simple. Number one is the file is world readable, and number two is this is basically an instruction for automated bots to obey, which does not mean that everybody has to obey it, right? Nor is there any access control as such which is applied on the website side to make sure people obey this file. So anybody can disobey the rules written there, and on the contrary, it will be easier for a malicious attacker to actually find out which are the hidden directories which the administrator actually wants to protect. So it actually facilitates the job of an attacker. Interestingly, I know how many people actually do not use this as some sort of a security cover. Now, when I looked into many websites, amazingly, it looks like most people are actually still using this as some sort of a security cover or some sort of a way to hide directories. Now this is a listing of a sample website in which, if you notice, very interesting things such as partner extranet, FTP download, protected, and even CVS kind of directories are actually available. More interesting is the part that these directories are not really linked to by any HTML page on the website. So anyway, Googlebot cannot mine this. So it has been very stupid that these directories have been mentioned in the disallow rule. Now, just as an example, I tried to connect to the FTP_download directory to see what's there. And if you notice, I ended up into a login screen. Now I've actually erased the actual website to protect its identity, but I can assure you that it is very simple to use a brute force based authentication mechanism to actually break this down. Also, there have been certain directories which I would not want to even list here, because if I list, it might be even easy to mine using Google and other ways, where the FTP listings and the file listings were clearly available out in the open. So the point which I want to make is that do not use robots.txt as a way to protect various directories or hide information from users or search engines. It will just not work. It is just a matter of time before an automated malicious bot mines those directories using robots.txt as a starting point and extracts important or confidential information. Well, that's all for the presentation. Now we'll move on to the demo, where we'll look at some popular website and what sort of things they are trying to hide or use in the robots.txt file. So what I have done is, because we need to mine the robots.txt file from various websites, I have written a very simple program in Python which will actually fetch the robots.txt file given a website and display it onto the screen. So this program is also available for download, even though it is actually just a 2-liner. So let's have a look at the file. So very simply, I use urllib to actually fetch the robots.txt file and then go ahead and print it out onto the screen. You can actually even do this manually using the wget command. So let's try out one of the more popular sites. CNN.com. Okay, so the robots.txt file has been dumped onto the screen, and if you notice here, there are some very interesting looking directories. The first one which is interesting is beta, right, which actually means probably CNN also runs some sort of a beta site, CNN beta, where it is trying out various new things, probably. I mean, I haven't seen what's out there, and I would advise you strongly also not to do so. But you know, from an intuition perspective, I think something interesting might be going on there. The second is a development directory, which is also quite interesting, and you also have a partners directory, probably a partner login or something might be available there. And then you have a test directory. Now this is very interesting, right? And then you also have a virtual directory, and of course a web.inf directory. So if you notice, many interesting looking directories have been listed here. Now whether a secondary form of authentication or something is available or not, of course, is pretty doubtful. But I would also discourage you from trying out to access these directories. The idea is just to show that interesting directories do exist, and at times they might contain some valuable information. Now let's also look at another interesting site, IPM.com maybe. Okay, so let's scroll up. IBM actually has quite a large robots.txt. So immediate thing of interest which catches the eye is there is an admin directory. Now this is interesting. And then you also have some sort of a data directory. And if you scroll down, we also see a temp directory. So if you notice, all of these are quite interesting sounding directories which probably might yield some interesting information. So well, that's all. The idea was to show that robots.txt does contain sensitive information at times, though in many cases the directories might also sound very interesting, but there might not be anything interesting out there. But the point remains that administrators and webmasters should not use robots.txt to hide any information, and if they do so, then probably it's just a matter of time before somebody is going to exploit it. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you very much.